Welcome back once again. Now let's continue with the question here. It says, in a triangle QRS, sides QR and RS each have a length of x centimeters and the side SQ has a length of y centimeters. The given equation represents this situation. They're talking about this. Which of the following is the best interpretation of 37 in this context? If I just roughly make a triangle, whatever has been stating to us, so if we name it as a side like R, Q, S, as they're clearly telling us, QR and RS is x centimeter each. If this is x, this is x, and the third side length SQ or QS is gonna be y centimeter. Now if you look at to the what has been done here and what has been given, adding up all the sides, right? X plus y, that is x plus y, which is equal to 37, which can also be written as 2x plus y equals to 37. Now when we talk about adding up length of all the sides, what it represents a perimeter of a shape, regardless of the type it is. As long we add length of the side, that represents the perimeter. Now which option matching with the term perimeter of a triangle? So option A says the difference in centimeter. No, there is nothing such. The difference in the centimeter between the length. No, again they are talking about the difference. Option C says the sum of lengths in centimeter of the three sides of a triangle. Yes, makes sense. Sum of length in centimeter of three sides of a triangle, which is same as a perimeter of a triangle. So C is the right answer here. Question says, what is the slope of the graph y equals to 1/4 of 27x plus 15 plus 7x? So we are asked to find out its slope. So remember, this is in this equation of a straight line form or slope intercept form. Generally we write it as y is equals to mx plus b. So anything with x, we refer it is to be slope, and the alone or constant turn to be y-intercept. Okay, that's what we generally know, and we studied it multiple times in previous questions. So now we have to expand and we have to make this given expression in this format. So how do we do that? So let me rewrite it as y equals to 27x times 1/4, that will be written as 27x by 4 plus 1/4 multiplied by 15, that is 15 times 1/4 is 15/4 plus 7x is already there, which is outside the bracket. Now combine like terms to simplify it further. So 27x by 4 plus 7x are like terms. So you can simply rewrite here as y equals to 27 by 4 plus 7 combinedly, which gives us as x, because I'm just adding the like term, plus 15 by 4. So what we gonna get? 27 by 4 plus 4. It's a part of Desmos. Okay, so if you can do it manually, well and good. If you don't, you can do it as in a Desmos. So combinedly that gives us 27 by 4 plus 7, that gives us 55 by 4, then x stays as it is, plus 15 by 4. So whatever the number with x, that itself we say it as a slope. So we can say that the slope of the value or the slope of this given equation is 55 by 4, or its equivalent value in decimal as 13.75. So m equals to 55 by 4. So this is how you rearrange the term to get the answer. Let's go to the next question, which says the difficulty level is hard. As you can see here, it's based on the line and their equation, their relation. It says that the graph shows a linear relationship between x and y. Which equation represents this relationship where r is a positive constant? Whenever question includes linear relationship, means the graph should have a straight line. Okay, and that's what we say. Now they are asking us, based on this line, which one is the right equation to choose where r has to be a positive number. Okay, that's what I can predict. Now by looking to this, what I can observe, the slope of this line, it's gonna be negative. So we have already studied when do I say the line has positive slope, negative slope, zero slope, and so on. If you have not watched my previous video, please do so that you will be understanding the slope relation. So this kind of line will be having negative slope. Okay, and now these lines are intersecting at this coordinate point here. You can say 0, 6, and this is gonna be 2, 0. All option what has been given to us is in the general form of a linear equation. There are three different forms of linear equations can be written. So one among those is going to be general form. We write it as ax plus by equal to c, and another one is slope intercept form, y equals to mx plus b, where m represents the slope and b is the y intercept. Now how do you convert that general form to a slope intercept form? We have to find the slope and y intercept from this, where a, b, c are any number, a constants. Now while finding the slope from this, you have to do it as negative coefficient of x, which is gonna be a, divided by coefficient of y. So to find out the slope for the general form, you have to take whatever the first put negative, take whatever the number with x divided by number with y, that gives you the slope of this, and then the equation can be created in this format. So now let's see, first among those four options, let's eliminate some of the options so that our solution becomes easier. Again I tell you, if the coefficient of x and y both are positive, then only the slope turns to be negative. I have to observe very carefully. Here coefficient of x is positive because they clearly told r is positive number, and coefficient of y is also positive, so this results in a positive slope. This could be the answer. But here coefficient of x is positive but coefficient of x is negative, so this gives me a slope to be positive. So how? As I said, slope is gonna be negative coefficient of x, which is r, divided by coefficient of y, which is gonna be negative 18. So negative by negative, it's gonna be slope. Here it is getting it as positive r by 18, as they said r is positive. So this equation has positive slope, but the line which has given to us is the negative slope, so this goes out of it. In the same way, as long the coefficient of x and y are positive, could be the answer. Coefficient of x and y, one of them is negative, then it won't be, because this results a positive slope. Now answer may be either A or C. Then how do we do that? So take a help of coordinate points and find its equation in the slope intercept form and rearrange it. So as they say, line is passing through 0, 6 and 2, 0. Now let's find out an equation of the line in this form, y is equals to mx plus b. So m is gonna be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So if you assign this coordinate as x1 y1 and this as x2 y2, so I'm just naming it as, you can alter, interchange their naming. This could be x2 y2, x1 y1. Always first number x, second is gonna be y. If you substitute those values, y2 it's gonna be 6 minus y1 is 0 divided by x2, it's gonna be 0 minus x1 is gonna be 2. So that is 6 divided by negative 2, which is gonna be negative 3. So your equation becomes y equals to negative 3x plus b. And one more thing, you can see the line is crossing y-axis at 6, so this itself is the y-intercept. So that is b value here, it is gonna be 6. So finally you can see an equation which we are talking about is y is equals to negative 3x plus 6. Now this is what I got. And how do you predict it? So when you rearrange this equation into the standard form, so where you have to take this negative 3x to the other side, then it becomes 3x plus y equal to 6. Now this is what I got. So how do you predict which one is gonna be? Look at the number in front of x and y. So coefficient of x is 3 times the coefficient of y, and in either case right hand side is 36. So how do you make that to be 36? Right hand side here it is 6. How do you make that 6 to 36? Multiply that entire expression by 6. See, I am rearranging them based on the what option has been given. So when you multiply this by 6, so right hand side turns to be 36. So every number should be get multiplied. You can't multiply for the single term. So this becomes 6 multiplied by 3, it's gonna be 18x plus 6 multiplied by y, it's gonna be 6y equal to 36. Now I should choose an option whose coefficient of x is either 18 or coefficient of y is 6, any one. So if you look at here, coefficient of y is 18, not x. So coefficient of x is 18, then definitely whatever the left will be the coefficient of y. Okay, so then make sense with option C. See, I have to get the same. Coefficient of x is 18. You cannot take coefficient of y to be 18 because this is what actually the equation of the line is. They have given to us 18. At the place of 6, they have written r and 36. So we are asked to predict equation for the given situation. So C is the right answer. So as they said, it's a harder one. These are all the calculations you have to do it. So eliminate the choices from the remaining, apply your knowledge, find out, and then get this. Yes, they are also saying it is C is the right choice, and they explained in this all the way. Okay, so you can, it's the same whatever I'm explaining you with the solving, they are using the similar idea.